Hello everyone, welcome to another Vegan Mundi cooking class. My name is Felipe and in this video we will learn how to make a vegan eggplant lasagna. This class is very interesting because you will learn two very nice techniques. One for making ground beef and give a real meaty flavor to it. And the second one is for making a stretchy vegan mozzarella. It's really nice. Are you ready? Let's start. The first thing that we need to do for our eggplant lasagna is to work on the ground beef. And there are two interesting ingredients in this part of the lesson. First, the base, the ingredient that will mimic the ground beef is textured soy protein, also known as textured vegetable protein, TSP for textured soy protein, TVP for textured vegetable protein. It's this guy here, coming grains. Tastes like nothing because it's made out of soy. So you need to marinate it in some spices in order for it to absorb the taste. And it's made out of soy flour. That's why a lot of times when people are not vegan, they want to try some vegan restaurant, they eat something based on soy. It could be like a tofu or this textured soy protein, and they don't like it. Maybe because the restaurant, they didn't know how to enhance the flavor of the soy product, right? So one of the techniques is to marinate. And we will use something very curious called liquid smoke. This little guy here. And it's exactly what the name suggests. It's smoke in form of liquid. What is it? How do they produce it? Imagine how bacon is produced, right? It's a piece of meat smoked. It's hanging in there. There is some wood on fire. The smoke will wrap around the bacon and smoke it. For the liquid smoke, there is no bacon hanging in there. There is a glass tube, like in a lab, right? You're a crazy scientist and you're working in your lab, you have your glass tubes there. There is wood on fire, the smoke will come, get inside the tube, and then they decrease the temperature inside the tube. The smoke will condensate and will become liquid. They capture that liquid and they put it in a bottle. And it tastes like smoked food. This one has a hickory flavor. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hickory is the type of wood, but it comes in different flavors, depends on what type of wood they use. So let's just do it, right? But before, take a look at the ingredients on the screen. Let's mix all the ground beef ingredients and then set them aside in the fridge, marinating overnight. So we will add the smoked paprika, the liquid smoke, soy sauce, and we will cover it with water. Mix a little bit, and then we are good to put it in the fridge. While we wait for the ground beef to marinate, we will work on the eggplant. There is a little secret for the eggplant. You just don't want to slice it and throw it right into the oven. The eggplant has a lot of water, and if you cook it without removing the water, it will be very saggy. So we use a secret technique to remove the water from the eggplant slices. We'll just add salt to it. We add a lot of salt on top of the slices, set it aside for 30 minutes, and then you will see that a lot of water will be released by the eggplant. You remove the water, and then you will start assembling your eggplant lasagna. So just cut it in a slice. this thin. See? And in the video, I'm cutting only one eggplant, but of course you will do with both of them. You will put all of your slices here in the tray. You don't need to care about making them in the shape of lasagna yet, because you're just setting it aside for removing the water. Add salt, and don't worry, it is a lot of salt. But of course, you're not cooking the eggplant with all the salt. You will remove the salt before cooking it. You can add salt to both sides if you want to. And we'll wait for 30 minutes for the water to be released. Let's check how much water the eggplant released after this 30 minutes. See? One single slice, a lot of water. And one more thing that I like to do with the eggplant slices is grilling them before putting them in the oven. You don't need to do that, but trust me, if you do so, the end result will be much more flavorful. So let's do it. Let's now grill the eggplants until they are golden brown. And one thing that I like doing is adding freshly ground black pepper to the slices. Don't use those already ground black pepper. Use freshly ground one. It makes such a big difference to your food. That's how you want your eggplant slice to look like. You see? Golden brown. Let's now assemble the first layer of eggplant slices. Simply, beautifully put them in the tray. And after we are done with this first layer, we will take care of the ground beef, because the ground beef will be the next layer. And what I do to fill in the gaps here, I cut some slices in half. Then I fill in the gaps. Let's cut one more here. And these little gaps here doesn't matter, okay? Let's now work on the ground beef. We will saute it on onions and garlic. The little secret about sauteing anything with onions and garlic is that you first saute only the onion until it gets transparent, and then you add the garlic. Why? Because the garlic burns way faster than the olive. So you want to add it just after the onions are ready. Let's now add the garlic. Saute it just for a little bit to incorporate the flavor into the oil. Let's add the ground beef that was marinating overnight. And I have a little secret here for, let's say, meat in general, vegan meat, of course, right? Especially ground beef. Cumin. It adds such a nice flavor to your ground beef or red meat, vegan of course. You should try it. We will also add some ground pepper. Always use the freshly ground pepper. And if you noticed, I never added any salt to the recipe. Why? Because the soy sauce is already salty, so You don't need to add salt. Actually, you don't want to add any salt to it. We are good with the ground beef. Now we'll go to the next stage of our recipe. Hang in, guys. I know it's a lot of work, but it will pay in the end. We will continue assembling our lasagna. Next step, add the ground beef on top of the lasagna. It's time for the tomato sauce. Don't be shy, you can add a lot of tomato sauce. And now we need to make our vegan stretchy mozzarella and add on top of the tomato sauce. It's finally time for us to make the vegan mozzarella. Its base is cashew nuts. They need to be soaked in water for at least 1 hour. And one secret ingredient here to make it stretchy is tapioca flour. It's a flour made out of yucca, cassava. And its starch, when heated, will make the mozzarella be stretchy. So we'll simply blend everything. And one little trick here, before adding everything to the blender, I blend the cashews with just a little bit of water, because if you don't do that, you try to blend everything all together, there will be lumps. It won't really blend the cashews, okay? So this is my little trick. Then after that, you add the rest of the ingredients. Water, the vinegar, the lime juice, tapioca starch or tapioca flour, salt, and this is an optional ingredient. It's called nutritional yeast, and this is the guy used by vegans to give cheese flavor to their food. In this recipe you don't really need it, but if you want to enhance the cheese flavor, you can use it. And just for you to know, nutritional yeast is a deactivated yeast that has a high content of protein, and also you can buy it enriched with vitamin B12, so it's a good source of vitamin B12 for vegans, okay? So I am adding some to my mozzarella, and now just blend it. And now we are going to the stove and we'll cook it. And we are done with our mozzarella. Check it out. Stretchy. And now it's time to finish assembling the lasagna. How cool is that, right? Stretchy vegan mozzarella. I don't think I have enough eggplant. They were a little bit small. That's fine, you got the idea, right? The last step is to add an extra layer of tomato sauce on top of it. And then we are good to bake it in the oven. Don't be shy again. Let's now cover it with aluminum foil. The aluminum foil has one side that is shinier than the other. This side. You want this side looking down, go inside. Why? Because you want to keep the heat inside the tray. If you do the other way around, you put the shiny side to the outside, the heat waves will kind of be reflected out. That's not what you want.